This is how I win.
This is no democracy. It is a dictatorship.
Double hate.
Load.
You're out of order! You're out of order!
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
How am I supposed to dance to that?
I'm not even fucking sure what the hell that was. But we'll have something different next week. I promise you on that one. Yes, I understand. I wish we could have the bitches back. It's the one thing missing. As Boatman put in the open chat, the private chat, that it's the opening scene from Blade. I can't agree more. That was terrifying. But no, we're on Twitch. YLS is here. Yes, we understand. We're working through it. I gave Koho this like 3 hours before and said, hey, I need new music. And believe me, we'll probably have new clips and everything next week or the following week or in a couple weeks. He'll work around it. He'll come up with something good. He did it for long. He'll find something. But we're here for Oscars. Yep. Basically it. Can't get DMCA on the very first stream on Twitch. So we're here for Oscars. 10 categories represented by one winner, best of all time. They can only pick one movie, so even if your favorite has like 6 nominees you could give it, you can only give it one. And then we'll have the definitive Oscars list tonight. And what the correct Oscars pool is. Some surprising picks on everybody's list, some not so surprising. So we'll get there. Bar, you're on the show. You're on Twitch. You've been there on Video Store. You're here on Multiplex. Are you going to talk as much as you talk on Video Store? Because if you do, Boatman has a bedtime. So wrap it up. But how you feeling?
Good.
My Fair Lady is a shit movie. All right, and we're gonna go to Joseph Oliver. We got Joseph on the panel. He is one of our always in the chat, always telling people when they're wrong or correcting them or telling them when things. Now he gets to do it live on camera and to people's faces. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear him shit talk Boatman, Bar, and Spence. Joseph, how you feeling tonight?
What Cody means is that it's his face and Spence's face because I don't like.
Just kidding.
I don't like certain opinions, like when he spends so much time bashing LA Confidential. But anyway, this is gonna be interesting because
this motherfucker don't miss.
Yeah, this is gonna be very different because I'm actually on screen, so we'll see. I hope this doesn't go too bad.
You did fine in your first one. See if you live through the rest of them. We got Boatman. Boatman, some people say you like the Oscars. Maybe some would say you like it a little too much. Do you have the correct list tonight?
Who says I like them too much?
We're not here to discuss that. I asked you a question. Answer the question.
That's fair. I don't know if I'll win, but I think I'll do well. I don't think I have any awful picks, but maybe I do. I don't know. What is reality? Life is all a simulation. We're in the Matrix.
That is fair. I can't wait to see everybody's reactions at 10, 9, 8 when you can't say shit, and then I guess we get to bring it back up through 7 through 1 because everything's fair game at that point. But Spence, how you doing?
Speaking of bad takes, I'm here. I honestly I think I told Bar beforehand. Like, I think this is the week where I have the best chance of winning. I could be wrong, but I think this is the week where it's like I think I have a legitimate chance of not being in last. Other than my 10, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I'm excited.
Before we start, hi Drew. Thank you for everybody showing up on Twitch, again, for following. By the way, me and Tim will be doing the giveaway, I think, each episode next week. I think Tim may do it on Logged It for 2 movies, and I will do it on YLS for next week's movies. Koho walked away, and this is a bad time. I'm just going to, what is next week's topic? I need lists. I don't have lists.
Is that remake?
I think it's villains.
I need villains. Submit it. Like even if you're on, like submit a list, please. I have Jack Pinchuk. Shocker. I have Jack Pinchuk. So I need lists.
Working on it.
Thank you. And then we have crime comedies. Bowen will take over the show for that. And then Bar will take over movies that have been remade but not remade enough. That's
if it's been remade one time, it's had its chance.
In the United States, not outside the country, has a male actor, and also has to have a female.
Oh my God!
There's a lot of fucking rules that Bar has.
Stop bullying me.
Just message him to make sure you are following all his rules, or you'll get it. I believe this is still hosted by Kaleb Boatman. I'm not who knows? I don't know. Koho said he was busy. Now he's not. I don't know what's going on, but you two can figure it out between each other. Make sure you send a list. Because I'm off. I'm not doing shit. And if you have top 100s, start submitting those to Kirk now so he can.
I'm not giving it back to Koho, even if he wants to host it. I will. Host
Yikes! It. This is awkward. Okay.
I'm kidding. If you really want to.
All right. Motherfucker, don't miss. Okay. So we are going to give it to Bar for your 10-9-8.
All right.
Thank you.
So, my number 10 is Best Original Score. That was for John Williams' Jaws. My number 9 was Best Original Song, which is The Weary Kind from Crazy Heart. And my number 8 is Best Director, which was Mike Nichols for The Graduate. Okay.
What a beautiful man. Okay, continue on.
I know what Boatman's thinking right now. So score. Everyone knows Jaws. Everyone knows Jaws. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. It's a classic score that really does build the tension in the movie. The best score to ever win. The Weary Kind from Crazy Heart. I think that this song is beautiful. It really captures this beautiful sense of a tired, weary sense of ennui, and just the build from the instrumentation and the production. It's so amazing. It just really captures the spirit. And then Mike Nichols for The Graduate. I think that there's just so much smart decisions in this movie. The quick editing when he turns around and sees Mrs. Robinson naked for the first time was such a smart decision in how to do that. The scuba diving moment where you're seeing it through the mask. Mike Nichols did such a great job directing this movie. It's one of the more impressive directions to win the award. So that's my number 8.
Okay. So your 10 Jaws. Score. I think there is better scores out there that have won this award. I think if we're going iconic, I think you have a strong argument. I don't think it's really close at that point because I think this one still stands the test of time. I don't know what's happening. This chat is on fire right now. Okay, and your next one is 9. I just watched this movie and I thought the song was okay. I wasn't in love with it. I think the performance in this movie. I think even though he is playing the old dude, I stand by it. I don't think Jeff Bridges has ever gotten out of The Big Lebowski since he's done that. He just does different variations of the dude, which is fine. I like that version. But overall, I think his performance. I don't think the song is that great, especially what other songs have come. And then 8. I'm just appalled. I am just absolutely insulted sitting here that no one else had Mike Nichols for The Graduate. Can we talk about perfect cinema? Let's go. This movie is absolutely incredible. I think what makes this movie... Stop clicking on the stuff. You're going to piss off Koho. I think this movie doesn't work as perfect as it does if it isn't his direction in it. I think the stuff he makes, me and Paul are both agreement when Mrs. Robinson is in that corner and that pan out shot is still is how he directs everything. I think this is a fantastic piece. Okay. Strike one, boom. Yikes. Okay, so Joseph, 10-9-8.
Here we go. My number 10 is the Best Supporting Actress category, and I picked Patty Duke for The Miracle Worker. My 9 is Best Original Song as well. I picked Into the West from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. And my number 8 is the Best Adapted Screenplay Oscar, and I picked One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
So 10, Patty Duke, The Miracle Worker. I put this at low just because I haven't seen as many winners from this category, but I think Patty Duke is just phenomenal in this movie. I studied a couple of I studied Helen Keller back in elementary school, and I think she just nails the type of mannerisms that I could see someone struggling with not only being blind but deaf. The way that she just aimlessly goes through life, and for example at the dinner scene where she's trying to feel the different foods to eat, and also the scene where she trashes the dining room with Anne Bancroft's character Annie Sullivan is just incredible. The scenes where she's also struggling with her and fighting with her, but also throwing temper tantrums and just hitting the ground as hard as she can. It just kind of scares me that she's, oh man, I hope she doesn't hurt herself. I think this is a very, very worthy win. For 9, Return of the King. This is a very also personal pick because I love this trilogy a lot. I think this song is like a perfect culmination of how far the trilogy has gone, with Frodo having finished his journey, but also not feeling at peace until he finally goes on the ship into the Elven lands. And I think that this is just a really great song that has that type of feel of how it's done. This whole trilogy has finished, has reached its end, and it's just like a song that signifies Frodo is now at peace. And I always like to stay around to see all the credits and listen to this song along with it. I think it's a great song. And my 8, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This is also another kind of personal pick because I wanted to focus on something that I actually have read, so I can compare it better with the movie at hand. And I think this is a very great adaptation for what it's doing in catching the type of helplessness and hopelessness at the asylum. And quick spoilers for people who haven't read or seen the movie for some reason. I'm going to talk about an important change that was done from the book to the movie that I think actually benefits it. There's a scene or a section of the book where Cheswick is actually learning about how the hopelessness works, and then he drowns himself in the pool. That is left out of the movie, but I think that actually works to its benefit because then we go to the scene where and then the character of Billy Bibbit, then he commits suicide, but that makes the movie more shocking because of how sudden that happens. And then the ending happens where Randall McMurphy dies and it's asphyxiated, but then Chief escapes, and all that contrasting to that finale is what really holds it together. And I think it's a really great movie that holds up on rewatch.
Okay. Well,
real quickly, I have to recharge my left.
You're good. So now I don't get to like your strategy, Cam. Also, I can't see your face when I yell.
Done.
Okay. Best supporting actress. I'm kind of with you on this one. There's stuff that it's probably my least watched of the categories. I watched this today. I think she's absolutely incredible in this film. I also watched an interview after this movie with her, and she basically said the role got her the Oscar. She just played it because that's what's going to win her. But I think she's absolutely incredible. I think in that time she was the youngest at that point, she said, and she's like, they were just given stuff, but she's like, I know that Angela Lansbury was nominated against her in Manchurian Candidate. I haven't seen that one. I've heard she's also phenomenal, but I can't disagree. After this movie, I think she's absolutely incredible in this. Number 9, Lord of the Rings. The people that are coming out of the woodworks to say they love the Lord of the Rings is the most confusing thing in the world to me. Like Ethan Beller and now Joseph really likes it. Like you're allowed to like it, but where the hell has everybody been? I don't know. The same people have always seemed to like it, but now there's new people. I like the song enough. It's not one of my favorite parts of that movie. I I like what it means to the story, but when you compare all songs, it's a little rough. But it's at 9. You get a pass. And your 8 is adapted screenplay of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This is one of those movies that people love, and I respect it a lot more than I love it overall. Because I think Nicholson's performance is absolutely incredible in this film, and I love the stuff that they make. Like Nurse Ratched is one of the most evil people in history of film, and they're back in how they play off each other and how the ending works. And again, I haven't read the book, but how you kind of described it makes sense why it won the Oscar. Basically, how this show is going to run tonight, just to let everybody know, is I'm not going to compare it to every year. Normally, I'm going to basically pin you all against each other and do it that way. So because there's a lot that I could say, oh well, that's wrong. So we'll just play it like that. So great start, Joseph, for your first time on the show. And you remember to have your charger for your laptop, so you're better than Boatman in Colorado. Boatman, 10-9-8.
All right. My number 10 is Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid for Best Original Song. My 9 is Best Director for Joel and Ethan Coen, No Country for Old Men. And my 8 is Best Original Score for The Lion King.
Yikes.
Yikes.
You hear that? It's pandering. Go ahead.
That's textbook pandering.
Why doesn't Bar get it? Come on.
Because I didn't pander.
You did a little bit.
No, I didn't.
But yeah, Raindrops, I think this song just fits this movie so well in the way that it doesn't. Because it, much like the characters of Butch and Sundance are meant to feel anachronistic, this song also feels anachronistic and reflects the modern sensibilities of the film, which I think is one of the best things about the film. And this song is just also great on its own, as it's used in later movies like Spider-Man 2. I think the song itself is just great. My 9 being Best Director for Joel and Ethan Coen. Yeah, this is, as directors, this is probably Joel and Ethan Coen's best work. I don't know if this is my favorite Coen Brothers movie, but just as pure directors, the way they are able to build so much tension in this is just perfect. I think this is the best directing job to have won the Oscar, because just look at that coin and toss scene. Look at the precision at which who you're looking at and what you're looking at and when, or the scene with Sugar and Woody Harrelson's character. There's just so much that is just so perfect about this movie from a direction standpoint. I think best directors win. And 8 is a yikes.
Okay. So your 10 Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Holston said the biggest problem is the song appears it feels out of place in it. I disagree with it. I actually like where they put the song in the movie. I really like the song. I really like the choices in it. It's one of the weirdest ones, because when you think of the song and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid had Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head when that was one of the original songs. I just love the song. I think it works in the movie. I think that's a good choice. Number 9. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of No Country for Old Men. I've said it before. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's kind of like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I respect the hell out of the movie because I think it's done well. It's just never going to be one of those movies that I absolutely love. Compared to Mike Nichols in The Graduate, I have to give it to Mike Nichols in The Graduate so far for Best Director. That's just personal on that one. But if we're doing song so far, I think you are in the lead for song. So, not bad. Spence, take it away. And tell that guy to keep his asshole off our screen. We're on Twitch now. We're going to get banned. Damn.
If you listen to me, everything would be easier. So my 10 for Best Supporting Actress, I have Catherine Zeta-Jones for Chicago. Number 9, is the best one here, Man or Muppet from 2011's The Muppets. And my 8 for Best Actress, I have Elizabeth Taylor for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So, I messed up here, but I'm going to defend her. Like, we all know I love Chicago.
You messed up.
At the end of the day, I think she's the best performance. She's the best performance in the film. I think she's absolutely incredible. I've seen multiple other like versions of Chicago, and she's my favorite Velma Kelly. I think she is the best dancer, best singer, best actor even of the bunch in that film. I think she's what makes the film shine. Man or Muppet is a classic. It's a perfect song. I was originally going to make it my 10, and then the categories that we were given shifted. So I bumped it up a bit because Peter Jones is a 10, but this is one of my just like looking my favorite songs of all time. It follows that tightrope of just a comedy song that genuinely just works and is really engaging. And whoever the fuck voices the Muppet, I don't know who it is. It's the best work from Sheldon Cooper as an actor, and he's only in there for like 30 seconds. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's one of the few best original song winners, which I will actively like spend my time listening to. And Elizabeth Taylor for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. One of just it's a performance I knew I was going to love, but I watched it for the first time last week prepping for the show, and I was blown away. I talked about her a lot on Logged It yesterday, but she's an actress who I hadn't seen much of her stuff, and walking in and seeing this seeing her give this performance as someone who I just read the play in high school and seeing her bring it to life is just perfection.
Okay. Wrong time to put a piece of candy in my mouth. 10, supporting actress. Okay, I'm going to make this point right now. Holtzman, I hope you're listening. Your hate for Chicago is one of the most confusing things in the history of this universe. Watch the stage version, and you should hate the stage version. The musical's not that great. If we're being honest with ourselves, Chicago itself is not a great musical. It's not. It is not. No, you can pump the brakes all you want. It's not a great musical. They did a great job at doing. They maybe cast the wrong people, but the movie is not as bad. It is not a flaming pile of shit. It is so confusing. I think you take Renee Zellweger and you take Richard Gere out of that movie and you replace them with some competent people and you might have a better movie on your hand. Even though I like Richard Gere singing performance. Captain Zeta Jones, not a bad performance at all. I like this. I like her performance as Velma Kelly. I think she's absolutely incredible. I especially Cell Block Tango, when her parts kicks in, is just insane. I think she's great. But I've never understood. Chicago's not that great of a musical. I'm sorry. Just move on. It's fine. Next one is Man or Muppet. Oh God. I know it's a fun part. Again, I'm not a huge Muppet person. I think this is a charming movie. If I had to pick it, Raindrops still wins over this one. I do not like Man or Muppet that much to put it over there. But it's fine. Thank you. Okay. And then what was it, 8? Elizabeth Taylor's going through a lot of shit when she was afraid of Virginia Woolf. I'm pretty sure her close friend said, "You need marriage counseling." And
they did.
Yeah. You know what they said? We'll fucking film a movie together and we'll put it all out for everybody to fucking see, and it's there. I think Elizabeth Taylor is insane in this movie. I think this entire movie, it's never 4 people stuck in a house, like a dinner party or whatever, has never made me more uncomfortable in my entire life. Like, I wanted to exit and I wasn't even there. I could have turned it off. Yeah, it's just the reason why this performance is so good is because it's so real. It's so real to her, so she's just letting everything out, and there's a camera to film her. So, great choice on that one. Okay, now the gloves come off. Everybody that panders or everybody that makes a comment, now they can say shit to each other. This is going to be fun. I can't wait to hear Joseph. Bar, take it away, 7.
All right, this is going to surprise a few people. My number 7 is going to be Best Supporting Actor, and it's Christopher Walken for The Deer Hunter. I am not a big fan of this movie. I think it's overrated. However, I will always admit that it's got 2 phenomenal scenes, and it's got Christopher Walken's performance. This performance is absolutely incredible. That last Russian roulette scene, yo, his performance in that is drop dead, like knockout, one of the greatest performances of all time. And I think that there's so many things going on, but it's all captured in a very intense stare. Yeah, this performance is incredible.
Motherfucker, you normally talk longer. Okay. This movie is not overrated. Okay. It's not overrated. Is it bloated? Absolutely. Without question, this movie is bloated. That wedding scene is one of the longest things in cinema history.
Oh my god, so long.
But it's basically like holding on to that moment as long as you can until your life's about to change. I think Walken is insane in this movie. I think a lot of the performances are really good in this movie. Honestly, I think the wedding scene is what drags the movie down for everybody. If you cut that wedding scene at least in half, you're sitting at 2 hours and 30 minutes, guaranteed. Like no problems. But his performance, yeah, that I've never felt more helpless at the end of a movie than that part where that scene of the when that scene happens, because you're just like, oh my gosh, like you just couldn't take it. Yeah, great choice. I'm really surprised that it came from The Deer Hunter from you, but I figure that would have been your best picture winner. Anyways, everybody else on Christopher Walken in The Deer Hunter.
I can go first. I think I'm also on Bar's side, in which I think this movie is kind of overrated and bloated. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'd be open to seeing it again. But I do remember the Russian roulette scenes, and I do think that Christopher Walken is at least really good in the movie to win that Oscar.
Have not seen it.
This movie features a scene where Christopher Walken sings I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. And it's great. No, Walken's performance is fantastic. This is easily like his best performance. I don't know if I would call this like the bet. I don't think I would put this. Actually, no, I would. This is like top 10 best supporting actor performances to win. So like, I'll give Bar a pass.
It's the hardest out of all of the categories to pick.
That's fair. So yeah, I think that I thought he was gonna say I was wrong, but no. But yeah, great pick. You're muted.
When the fuck did Boatman become a salt shaker? My God, there's the amount of salt that's inside you right now. Calm the fuck down. Shit. I'm sorry. Whose turn is it talk? It's YLS. Fucking jump over each other. I don't give a shit. Okay, what's your 6?
My number 6 is going to be Best Supporting Actress, even though some people would call this category fraud. It is Ava Marie Saint for On the Waterfront. I think Ava Marie Saint's performance in this it's incredible. Just like the amount of things that this character has to go through and learn. The scene where she learns the truth about her brother's death it's all done in silence, essentially, but you look at her face and you just see so many things going on. And the scene where she's just talking with Terry on the swings, there are so many moments in this where her performance is just so strong and powerful. She doesn't really have to say that much. And it's one of my favorite performances by anyone, like, ever, honestly.
It's 100% category fraud. I'm sorry. When you put it up there, I said, huh? No, I disagree with that. I think the performance. This movie is one that I have to go back on and rewatch again. It's because I watched it really late one night, and it's a slow burn. Let's be real with ourselves. This movie is very slow, so it kept me going. I did the old man like pass out. So there's parts that probably miss. It's a good movie. Like I can respect everything I can. I can now be Warzone champion because I know about it now. But overall, it's just I disagree with the placement, but good choice so far. I would put Joseph, whoever Joseph put right now for supporting actress over it.
Patty Duke?
Patty Duke, yes. Okay. Everybody else on this one.
So you mentioned that we should step over everyone, so I'm going to do that right now. How dare you say that this movie's slow? You have a short attention span that you need to have more education in. I hope you do rewatch it because I think this movie is a fantastic movie. I did consider Eva Marie Sainz for this movie. I think that she is fantastic in this movie. Her camaraderie and chemistry with Marlon Brando is so great. But I did want to try to spread the love over different movies, so I wanted to only focus on one movie per category. Spoilers.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's
good. I'll be honest.
You're supposed to just do one movie per thing, but go ahead.
I don't really remember her performance, not to say that she's bad, but I get so caught up in how much I hate everything around her performance, it's hard for me to get attached. Or, we've been over this. I hate the screenplay.
Oh my God, Spence, shut up.
If I'm gonna fucking moral,
no, you can stop right there. You're good.
Spence, stop talking. Stop talking about the screenplay. You'll
yeah, get educated with the culture, Spence.
This motherfucker don't miss.
Elia Kazan's ass and the screenplay is ass.
Fuck you, Spence. Your ass.
I think that Ava Marie Saint is really good in this movie. At the same time, she is the third or fourth best performance in her movie. But she is very good.
Okay, and listen, I'm not going to have somebody come on the show for the first time and tell me that I have a low attention span. This movie is slow. It's okay to call a movie a slow burn. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But I said
it is a slow burn. Like
it was a pile of shit. I watched it at midnight. Not a great choice.
I love the movie, and it's a slow movie. That doesn't mean bad.
Correct.
I just don't think it's that slow. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Lord of mercy. I hate what you see. What is fast?
That's when Joseph sets his eyes to just 240p.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, what's your next one? Because Spence and Barr are throwing stuff across the. I can't even catch the amount of shit being thrown.
So my number 5 is going to be Best Actor, and I picked Gregory Peck in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Hello, Chase. By the way, cool.
All right, so Gregory Peck in this film. Gregory Peck's one of those actors who just is really good at playing a man deeply hiding the emotions that he has, but you're able to read everything on his face. Just the scene where in the end of the trial, when you find out the verdict, you just read everything on his face. There's anger and sadness and all of that. Just the honesty that he portrays when he's talking to Scout. It's incredibly realistic. And it's just one of those performances where you cannot imagine literally anyone else in that time period doing that role, because no one else could have done it like Gregory Peck. So that's my number 5, best actor out of all the best actors.
So this is the one subject matter that I'm probably the most educated on of best actor right now. I think I'm down to 18 of them left that I haven't seen. The winners. This is tough. This category is super strong. I think Peck is kind of in the conversation. He's not personally in my top 10 right now. I think he's good. There's just a lot of performances out there to choose from. But yeah, and this maybe more watches will maybe change my opinion on this. I've been on the show record of saying this movie needs to stop being shown in schools or make people read this in schools, because I believe the attention span of the generations, including mine and people younger, are going down. Yes. And
is it too slow of a movie?
No, I just don't think they care. I don't think they care about the subject matter as much, and they're not mature enough to understand the themes or care about the themes enough because they're too busy wanting to do fart jokes and shit in class. I think this is something that I wish I would have waited for after like college. I would have liked it a lot more. Just in a classroom setting, it's never a good thing because I feel like people goof off or they don't take it seriously. So more watches of this I will think. I just wish they'd stop showing this. Not that it's bad to show in school. I think they should. But I just don't think, including myself, is at the right maturity level to take it at that point. Everybody else on Gregory Peck as Best Actor.
Here's the thing. Elephant in the room. Burt Lancaster, Birdman of Alcatraz. Jack Lemmon, Days of Wine and Roses. Peter O'Toole, Lawrence of Arabia. All 3 performances nominated that year better than Gregory Peck. Is Gregory Peck good? Yes. All 3 of those performances are better.
Yeah, I feel in the same way as Boatman with Lawrence of Arabia that Peter O'Toole is a lot better as a performance. I feel like this Oscar was more given as an idealized character, which I don't hate, but I do feel stronger about Peter O'Toole, who should have won for this Oscar.
Well, they didn't, and that's not what we're arguing.
But we can say that because Cody told us to, so I'm just saying.
Cody told us at the beginning of the show we could bring that up, and now you're saying, "Oh, that doesn't count. That's not how does this show work, Bar? You tell me."
I don't know. We're arguing.
That said, I haven't seen the movie in a while since high school because I was trying to like watch this and understand why it's such a classic when I was watching that at the time. So I just have to revisit it, I think.
I hate to agree with Cody. I'm not going to agree that they should stop doing this in school, but I haven't seen it in high school and I wasn't paying attention, so I don't really have a strong opinion about this. I respect the pick. I obviously disagree, but that's not a bad pick.
But they gave Gregory Peck the Oscar because half the fuckers were asleep watching Lawrence of Arabia. Okay. Sorry, the movie's too funny.
It's 3.5 hours, Joseph. Give him some slack.
And it's fantastic.
Get a fucking editor. Damn it. These old movies are fucking shit. I hate when you.
It's better edited than The Deer Hunter. I'm sorry.
Jack Lemmon is the one who should have won for
Loud noises.
I hate watching an old movie and intermission comes up and I'm like, motherfucker! We're only halfway.
You can fast forward it.
I miss
only 2 movies are worth the intermission.
Not
West Side Story and Holy
I'm not saying the intermission part. I'm saying, holy shit, I'm only halfway through this. That's the point that I have a problem. Bar, what's your 4? We're gonna fucking fight tonight. Damn.
My number 4 is the best actress performance out of all of the best actress performances, and if you know me, you knew this was coming. It's Frances McDormand in Fargo, baby.
Yikes. Okay. All right, Joseph. Now we get to rip you apart. Go ahead. Tell us what you saw for this.
All right. You're not wrong, because Spence is going to want to rip me up for picking On the Waterfront for her best original screenplay.
We are going to rumble.
Yeah. This movie is fantastic. I had heard a lot about this movie when I was in high school and getting more into older films for the first time, and it still blew me away with how tense and absorbed I was by the dialogues and how the story progressed here. Everyone here is great. Eva Marie saying maybe the 4th best performance, like Boatman was saying, but that's still pretty great because she and everyone is great in here. But I really, really believed their performances because of the dialogues. Her natural chemistry with Terry, played by Marlon Brando, and then there's also Terry's conflicting inner demons and emotions about whether he should testify against the mob, and then he also has feelings for Edie. Of course, the I could have been a contender scene is iconic, but there was also the scene where Carl Malden's character does that monologue where he speaks out against the violence on the docks. That gave me chills and just got me tense and mesmerized when I saw that for the first time. It showed me how important and powerful the screenplay could be as someone who was just getting more into films of that era, and that's why I love it.
So this movie's a slow burn. I don't think the script's bad. Again, what I said by that is I don't mean this movie's bad. I think this movie is good. I think this just needs a fresh watch. I think there is great performances throughout it. I struggle a little bit with Brando, like some of Brando's acting performances just because of like the way he delivers lines and stuff. I believe, like, I understand it, but it's still like fucking speed.
It was very different for that time. It was revolutionary. So, like, it's different.
It's just different. It takes me out. But no, wouldn't say it's bad. I don't. Has there been another original screenplay brought up yet? No, so okay. So people have some stuff higher. Everybody else on the waterfront, the screenplay.
I think Carl Malden's speech in that movie is maybe one of the greatest scenes of all time. Like everyone talks about it, I could have been a contender. Not the best. Great speech. Not the best speech from that movie. Carl Malden's, and anybody who sits around and lets it happen shares the guilt of it just as much as the Roman soldiers. Like that. I love that whole speech. Carl Malden is incredible in this movie, and he should have won the Oscar.
Should have won the Oscar.
I haven't seen Edmund O'Brien in the other movie, but still.
I want to see it just because I can say that it may not have deserved that Oscar. I'm just like kind of happy but upset at the same time that 3 people from that movie were nominated for supporting actors. So like I guess vote splitting is to blame, but still, yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Adelaide. Tell us your wrong opinion.
Oh no! So, last, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, fine. This screenplay is super tight. It's very hard to really capture the emotional turmoil of a character just like through the written word, and I think that this script does that. I think that the way that it builds and develops and grows, get fucked, Spence. The way that this script,
motherfucker, don't miss.
The way that the script builds and develops, you see the relationships constantly change and shift. It's incredible. You're right that Carl Malden's speech is one of the greatest movie speeches of all time. And it's just the way that the dynamics between the characters are written, fantastic, amazing, brilliant.
It's no innocence. Hey, calm down, okay?
I said one of.
Okay, I'm gonna slow things down. Number one, like, yes, Malden's speech is literal perfection. I literally have it like in my list of monologues I want to perform next to things from Touch of Evil and Revolutionary Road. Like it's fantastic. The screenplay as a whole is not bad. My issue comes with Eva Marie Saint's character, and I'm not gonna say the big scary words, but her relationship with Brando gives me such a sour taste on the rest of the film. It's not a bad movie overall.
Oh my god.
I despise that, and that's what I was talking about. Overall, like, it's a fine pick. There's a lot better. I have this higher, obviously, but like I think there's a lot better movies you could pick.
Can you message me what you're talking about? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Also, if I
know
ever,
exactly what they're saying.
If I ever hear Bar say "toit" like that again, I will literally just cancel the show. Let's go to your number 6, Joseph.
My 6 is a movie that I wasn't a huge fan of the first time I saw it, kind of like Cody, but I've heard that he's since rewatched it and liked it a lot more. My same experience with me with Unforgiven, and the category for Best Director, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, so this movie, I think, is a very powerful metaphorical film that Clint Eastwood directed just because of how anti-violence it is, or in the sense that it shows the ugly side of violence in the Western genre. Like, there were movies in the movies before that did show some ugly sides to violence. The Wild Bunch in particular comes in mind. But, like, at the same time, they also have a lot of bravado and heroism in those genres that Clint Eastwood's character in particular sometimes did a lot of. But then when he did this movie, he wanted to show the ugly side of violence, how characters are really, really affected by this movie. And I love seeing how the characters are developed at the start of the movie, and then as they progress in the movie, characters do terrible things at each other. They beat each other up. They slice up a prostitute. There's an ugly side of this character and this movie that is so powerful. And I think that does a strong, great contrast to what Clint Eastwood had been doing for years before. That ending sequence while they're in the rain at that excuse me, at the place is so tense for me. I think it gets better on rewatch. It also gives me hope that Cody would rewatch other movies that I love, that he could maybe appreciate more, like he's done for It's a Wonderful Life and hopefully for LA Confidential. But yeah, I love this movie, and I love that Clint Eastwood got a Best Director for this. As long as it's not Mulholland Drive, I think I'll give some movies a shot. Just message me and I'll try it. I'm just gonna say this. Some people don't like this opinion. I think Clint Eastwood's a pretty good director. At the basics, I like a lot of his films. I understand there's some films that people won't like, but like I love Unforgiven. I think Unforgiven is I think it works because he's behind the camera and he has that experience with westerns and what he's able to bring out of it. And then I again love Mystic River, of course, and I love $1 Million Baby. I just think he gets way too much hate as a director. A Best Director, that's really hard. I don't think you picked a bad choice, especially again, that's a list that I'm about to tackle through myself, but there's a lot of good choices. I'm still gonna. There are. I'm still gonna slide with Mike Nichols from The Graduate for this one. For me, I know I'm fucking shocked. Guess what? You can put Scorsese somewhere and you can win as well. But yeah, great choice. But everybody else on Clint Eastwood for directing Unforgiven.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I do really like Unforgiven. I think Unforgiven is a great movie. The more I learn and hear Eastwood talk about his directing style, the more I think that Eastwood doesn't necessarily deserve a lot of the credit for his great movies that he has directed, where he describes himself as a very hands-off director and basically says, I just let the people do what they do. I don't like to really correct them or get in like that, just like I don't like people to correct me. So I don't know how much, if we're calling it Best Director, I think you have more of an argument for picture. I think director, not really. That's kind of the problem here, is that I don't know how much credit Eastwood deserves for his movies.
Just that there's another movie I want to talk about for Best Picture.
Do you think he just stands back and lets somebody just do a shit and it doesn't say? I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's what he does, but he's, from what I look at 1517 in Paris. He definitely wasn't given those guys instructions.
I have not seen that.
You could have put anybody. If their decision was to make the real people be the actors, then that's the problem. It's not him. He just cast the worst people. Like, he cast the real people. So, again, Spence and Bar on.
I haven't seen it.
It's fine.
Short and sweet.
That's fine.
I hope you rewatch it because I also thought it was fine the first time.
Well,
it's fine.
He thinks mine fairly, Jim. So,
not everything.
Okay. Next one.
Okay. I kind of really wish that you didn't reveal this out in the open until that, like last week that you said that you were, or not last week, but the week before, that you were going to watch every top 5 thing from now on, because I want to see what Paul Oyama had in store the next time he did something, and then you surprised him. Hey, I saw this.
Well, I did that to Scott because I think Scott thought I was never going to watch Mulholland Drive, and then I watched it.
Yeah. So I'm curious what you think about this movie. I think there's not a lot of wrong you can say about Charlize Theron's Oscar for Monster in Best Actress. She carries this movie by a lot. The movie, I think, as a whole, isn't incredible as it could have been. I think it's very melodramatic at times, but like I said, she carries this movie a lot. She is completely transformed as Eileen Wuornos in here with just her mannerisms and her way of speaking. Like she's on crack cocaine almost. She's also the way of her teeth and her mouth looks like. And if you see her in real life interviews, it's kind of scary how great, or at least how similar she looks to the real life Eileen Wuornos. And of course, the makeup department also gets some credit for that. But yeah, I think that Charlize Theron does a incredible job in portraying this character. Seeing how she goes from getting assaulted at the start of near the start of the movie, and then she transforms into a serial killer. Her aggressiveness that shows in various scenes, like when she gets rejected by various jobs, like when she's trying to leave the prostitution profession. It's so tragic to see her mentally break down in the last half of the movie. Her scene right before she and Christina Ricci's character Selby part ways mesmerizes me. She's just sobbing so hard and shaking. She can't like talk straight about their situations and all their life choices going all wrong for them, and it's incredible. Again, I don't think the movie is as amazing as it could have been, but watch it just for Charlize Theron.
So I am a true crime nut. I have always been. I find it fascinating. I have problems. I understand that. But like serial killers, I find super fascinating. And I've watched a ton of her. I can't never. What's her name? How do you pronounce it again?
Eileen Wuornos?
Yeah. I've watched her documentary of like her actually like before she gets executed. And watching that, I watched that, and then I watched Monster, and almost the same person shows up on screen, and it is freaky. It is one of it's one of the best acting performances I've ever seen, being able to take a real-life person and bring them to film. The movie itself, meh at best, but just her performance alone is insane, and the descent into madness she goes into, like she does in real life, is crazy. This movie is crazy. Like, I suggest anybody, if you haven't seen her in this movie, just go check out her alone. Just don't. The movie's what it is, but her performance is outstanding. Great choice for this one. Everybody else?
I have not seen it.
I also haven't seen it.
I've heard legendary things, and I haven't seen it.
Yay! I got something nobody's seen.
The makeup and everything else worked, like, does a lot of help in that movie, but she's still got to give the performance. It's great. Okay, 4?
Yep, 4. This one was very close. Best actor, pretty close as well. Best supporting actor was like, what do I pick? A, B, or C, or D? There's like a ton of choices. I rewatched this movie, and I am very proud that I stuck by it. It is the best supporting actor winner for No Country for Old Men, Javier Bardem. Just the way that he looks like it's creepy enough, kind of like Eileen Wuornos in real life, but the way that he looks like and just the way that he carries on naturally with this demeanor and the way that he looks like is just super unsettling to watch. Him just with no emotions or barely any emotions, except when he's like being annoyed at people for being people, like when the guy at this gas station asks him some questions just for chatter, and then he gets kind of like annoyed at him, and then he makes him toss a coin for betting on his life, and then that whole type of behavior is just so unsettling to watch, and he is so convincing throughout this movie. I think his face in which he's like keeping it straight whenever he's trying to go on his mission to get Llewellyn Moss, Josh Brolin's character. He's just a psychopath of like the highest degree of level, and it's just kind of a great movie. Well, this is a movie that I've never like been in love with, but I've always loved Javier Bardem in this movie, and I rewatched that movie. The movie also has gone up for me on rewatch. I rewatched it today. I think it's a really fantastic movie, and that is only made better by his performance in this movie. It's completely heartless killer.
Yeah, and I was going to say this, but I didn't want to give it away. If you're going to give No Country for Old Men one of the Oscars that it won for any of these, I think this is the category to give it in. I think he just absolutely is the best part of this movie. He's one of the best parts of most movies. I understand. I think there's one other supporting actor choice that you can go with, and that can kind of give a pass. But if you're going to give one out, and if you wanted like Honor, No Country for Old Men, and give it, that makes sense. But yeah, his performance is the one thing in the movie that always grips me in. If his performance is out of it, I don't think I ever watch this movie again. Like, but his performances alone, just how he delivers lines and the look on his face, yeah. Everybody else on Javier Bardem.
This is, as I said earlier, I think this is the category that had the most picks that you could have, made the right pick for. This is one of the ones I was considering.
I thought you said that for lead actor.
No, supporting.
I think that this is like one of the top tier picks in this category. I think I love this movie, so I gave it director because I think just from a direction standpoint that it's fair. I also had a closer pick for supporting actor that I just love that we'll talk about later. But I don't begrudge this pick at all. It's a great pick for supporting actor.
I have a lot of thoughts about this. I think we'll come up with my supporting actor pick as well. Like I think he's incredible. There's no slight to him. It's a safe pick. I get it.
The rest of my list is going to be very boring and safe.
Yeah. Safe pick. Oh god. Okay, this is hilarious. All right, Boatman, take it away.
Okay, my number 7 is Best Supporting Actress. Cate Blanchett as Katharine Hepburn in The Aviator. I think this was like, besides Lord of the Rings, this was like my introduction to Cate Blanchett as an actress. I was blown away, and I hadn't even seen a Katharine Hepburn movie at that point. But now, as I have watched Katharine Hepburn movies, that is Katharine Hepburn. She has it down perfectly. Like her performance in this is just really fantastic. I think she steals every scene that she's in, which is not an easy thing to do because I actually think The Aviator is a really great movie that doesn't get enough love. I love The Aviator, and I think she's the best part of a fantastic movie. Just this scene with her and Howard golfing is just one of the best. Like just the way she comes in and she has the same energy that she does in her films. It feels just so Katharine Hepburn. Fantastic performance.
Yes, I'm on the record. I don't think The Aviator gets mentioned in the same breath of a lot of Scorsese films. I think it's absolutely incredible. As somebody that's watched more Katharine Hepburn as well, yes, Cate Blanchett is absolutely killing in this movie. It is one of my favorite Best Supporting Actresses. So yeah, great choice. I couldn't disagree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Disagree with you. So great choice on that one. Everybody else, Cate Blanchett and The Aviator.
For the longest time, it wasn't streaming anywhere, so I haven't seen it yet. But I have the DVD. I just got it 2 days ago.
It was on Netflix when I was 13, and that's how I watched it. Objection.
This is the most Boatman pick possible. Like, I'm sure there's stuff later which is like, oh, this is like, but like, I am not surprised at all. Boatman's like, you know what? I love Cate Blanchett in The Aviator. This is a great pick. I think she's incredible in this. It's just coming in. It's like, oh yeah, you were gonna pick this.
You think this is the most Boatman pick he could have made? Okay.
Oh, so far it's gonna get a lot more Boatman.
Does everybody else find this fascinating? As somebody that has not went yet is throwing a lot of shit at people that haven't even started uttering their rest of their list.
They're way too confident in their list.
No,
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
My 6 is Best Picture for Amadeus.
Yikes.
What?
My 5 is Best Supporting Actor for Heath Ledger as the Joker.
That's my 7.
All right, you both get to talk about it.
Yeah. Koho talked about it. He has like a dumb name for it. I don't remember what it's like 2007, 2008, 2009.
The Unholy Trinity.
That's what it is. Thank you.
I was going to say the same thing.
All 3 of like the greatest movie villains of all time, or at least of that decade, winning Best Supporting Actor. And this is my personal favorite of those three, my favorite performance to win Best Supporting Actor. There's been a lot of great performances to win Best Supporting Actor, but just on my most recent rewatch of The Dark Knight, I'm just still blown away with how Heath Ledger was able to pull this off. Like, you look at everything he's done before, even like really great performances from him, like Brokeback Mountain. There is nothing in there that says that he's able to like go this dark and this like impressive, but it's an incredible performance. He is so fantastic and so scary in this. I think by far, in my opinion, the like darkest scene. Everyone goes to like the interrogation, which is a fantastic scene. Don't get me wrong. But for me, like the scene that always sticks with me is just the very, very poorly shot handheld cam video with him just I'm a man of my word. I think that scene is incredible. But from its introduction with the pencil, just everything he does with his short amount of screen time is perfect. It's just an incredible performance.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think like I picked Ledger for the reason of the unholy trinity. I think more so Ledger than Bardem or Waltz, although Waltz is really close to making my list. I think impacted the way we view, we treat comic book movies a lot more seriously, but also just I think the way that people portray villains has been really impacted by those three performances. And in my opinion, I think Ledger is the one who has changed acting the most of the three. I think he brought an approach to the character like, okay, and that's one of the ways that I ranked my list of it's not just who is my favorite, is who has impacted the category the most. And I think Ledger has made an incredible impact on how actors approach these kind of roles. And that's why I picked him on top of, yes, he gives an amazing performance. And I think we've all talked about it a lot, but I could not pick him here.
Yeah, so I'll just show my card. If I'm going of the three of the unholy trinity, I'm going Hans Landa as number one. That's my pick overall. I think he gives a performance that is thankful. But I agree with you. All three of them are great performances. I think Ledger did do something. He basically broke the system when he did it with this thing. Because I don't know if he brought more light to the comic book and like gave more or that villains could be the to win. I just think he went above his medium. Like I went above comic books. I think his performance was not even on this level. Like I don't think I remember all the casting news came out and people were like, "Are you effing kidding me?" And then to see his performance, that Bowman's right. Never gave anything. The guy from Knight's Tale, the guy from Brokeback Mountain is doing the Joker. Yeah, good fucking luck with that. And then that's the performance we get. Again, the interrogation scene will always be one of my favorite scenes in all film history, is like when he's basically like, you shouldn't do that. Like everything gets fuzzy. It's just how he delivers lines and how he looks and how his whole demeanor changes by just little things. He gives a great performance. Javier Bardem or this or what? Like there's some. You're right. Supporting actor has just hits for hits. I am with Joseph. I'm really surprised it had Hans Landa on it. That's a little bit of a shock for me. But yeah, great choice. I don't know where I'd go between Javier Bardem or Heath Ledger, but yeah, great choices all around. Barr and Joseph didn't have Joker for Heath Ledger. How close was he to making your list?
Very close.
Very close.
Yeah, just real quickly, it was technically Andrew who said that he was surprised that no one had Hans Landa, and I said that it was very hard. But yeah, it was really close.
As I said, this category, probably the most stacked out of all of the winners. And to those people who say that Heath Ledger only won because he died, shut up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a conversation for another time. Sorry, both your names are yellow on this thing over here for me. So
get a profile picture.
Can you change it? Do that next time we come on. Okay. All right. We are on to Boatman's
4.
4. What's your 4?
This guy right here, Best Actor Marlon Brando for The Godfather. Yeah, I think this is. We talked about a lot about Brando's other Best Actor winning movie. I think this is the better of the two performances from him. I think this is just an incredible performance as Vito Corleone. Just from the opening scene alone, it's at this point like it's just been so ingrained into culture that like everything, come to me on the day my daughter's wedding. I can't do the voice. I admitted I can't do the voice.
No an impression, but a Brando.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Fair.
It wasn't great.
But yeah, like that, just his connection with Michael, how he, just honestly, like it's his quieter moments that really like make the performance. I don't want Michael getting mixed up into this, or when he's just talking with Michael about how to run the family. I love those scenes, but also his like big moments when he's slapping around Johnny Fontaine. I think the whole film is just incredible, and I think this performance is just one of the great leading performances of all time. I think Brando just kills it. He is putting so much into this performance. Love it.
Is he the best performance inside The Godfather?
Yeah, in my opinion. It's close.
Okay.
But I'd say so.
I will always go with Michael. No question about it. But no, I agree with you. Godfather.
If we're including the sequels, Michael and Godfather 2, I will give you. Because I think Pacino is better in 2 than he is in 1.
I think Pacino's better in 1. But anyway, that's not what we're arguing here. I think overall this film it's in my top 10 of all time. It's a perfect film. It gets all the hype that it gets. It deserves every bit of it. Brando's performance when I was younger, I just didn't. This movie was talked about a lot when I was younger about being one of the greatest films ever. I watched it way too young. I did not like it. I thought talk about another 70s wedding scene that needs to hurry the fuck up, or like party. But let me tell you, now watching it, I love that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes inside The Godfather. Yeah, it's Brando's performance. He's got iconic lines, but the way he delivers it without saying much. Honestly, the scenes that he doesn't talk very much throughout the entire film. Like he gives simple moments and simple instructions, and I love that he is the Godfather. Basically, sends people to do his bidding, and then when it doesn't go the way, he makes sure it goes that way. So, yeah, he loves long movies. So yeah, great choice. It's tough with Brando. There was something that changed in my ranking, so we'll talk about that probably later. But yeah, Brando, great choice. Everybody else, did Marlon Brando cross your mind at all?
Like, not to agree with Cody again, but yeah, I watched this when I was way too young. I don't like it. It's too long, and I'm bored. I will stand by though. I think Al Pacino's real. I think I prefer Pacino over Brando, but I don't really care for this. I could go on longer, but I actually want to win this week, so I'm going to shut up.
I'm not gonna go so far as to say that he shouldn't have won because it's a category fraud. He's a supporting actor, and Al Pacino should have been a lead actor, like some people do. But this is kind of category fraud for me in the lead actor category. I'm fine with him winning, but I do prefer Al Pacino in the movie. I think Al Pacino should have won lead actor for this movie, and Marlon Brando should have won supporting actor for this movie. I also like him more, or liked him more in On the Waterfront than a movie that he should have won for, A Streetcar Named Desire, more. Maybe that's why I didn't. Maybe that's why I didn't have him like at the top 5 performances quite there for me.
Pacino would have been there if he wasn't a punk bitch. So, as Boatman told me. All right, Bar, Brando.
So, I get the pandering stare for putting Mike Nichols at number 8, but you have The Godfather at number 4.
That's not
Cody's top
pandering and being a bitch are two different things,
of it behind me.
Oh, so cool! You have a poster of The Godfather, unlike their door.
Time. Where's the graduate on your top 100, huh?
It's just making it. I rewatched it and it's...
Oh, now it magically flips to the top 100. Now it has, what else does the Blue Fairy leave under your pillow, Pinocchio?
Loud noises!
Jesus Christ. Okay. Spence, what's your 6?
My 6?
Yeah,
that's it. My 6 is Milos Forman for Amadeus and Best Director. This is maybe the one I hummed and hawed over the most because I think directing is a lot to do. And when I sat down about it, it's like, wait, I have a hard time thinking of things not in just quantity. And I think Foreman directed the most movie here and still pitched a perfect thing. I think there's so many tones and styles and characters to balance, and he finds a way to do it all. And again, talking about like movies that are too long, this is like 2.5 fucking hours, and it flies by. The fact that Foreman can make something so compelling, so rich, and so dense, and also it feels like an hour and a half. This is one of the best jobs I've seen of any director ever, and I wish I'd seen this. I wish I'd seen this movie more. It took me way too long to watch it, and I'm so happy I can. I think there's a lot of good picks. I think this is the best pick.
I will not share my opinion on my review that I just put on this movie because somebody else put it in a different category. Directing, I agree. I can't disagree with you. The direction of Amadeus is one of the greatest achievements ever. I think this film, the fact that we're in this film community and we talk about Amadeus, that's one thing. Like, that's expected. Like, I expect to hear people talk about Amadeus. But the fact that no one else ever talks about Amadeus, and I think that everybody just in the general public is missing a gem of a movie, honestly. I think this movie comes along it's not one of those movies that come around all the time, and it's like, I could place this movie in decades, and I think it still is one of those best movies of that decade. Like, I think throughout this entire thing and where he's able to shoot it, and like, I don't like classical music. I hate classical music, if I'm being honest. I'm an uncultured swine when it comes to it. I understand there's people like, I've never had a love for it like some people. But this movie makes me care about it. This movie makes me like invested in it, care about the struggle back then. The operas and everything that they're able to create this environment from it is just insane. And the way he's been able to shoot and everything, it definitely gives him a hat. He does a great job at directing. I still like Mike Nichols, but we're going to. Well, I can only pick one for certain categories, so we'll talk later. But everybody else on the directing of Amadeus.
This movie is for me what To Kill a Mockingbird was for Cody. Was saying that I saw it when I was very young, and I wasn't a huge fan of the ending. It kind of made me mad at how depressed it was. I have since rewatched it. And it is so well done. Like, even though I wasn't a fan of the ending when I saw it the first time, I was still mesmerized by how quick a 2.5 hour plus long movie went by for me. It's not quite in my like top 100 favorite movies of all time, but it's such an incredible artistic achievement and of directing and of acting, and I don't disagree with this pick. I think it's a really great pick, great choice.
If I didn't have Amadeus already in another category, I might have picked Foreman for director.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Barr, is that I picked Amadeus, and I already said I picked Amadeus for picture, so that I didn't put it in I couldn't put it in director, but it's a great pick.
Yeah, and again, one of the most depressing endings to any movie, but so understood why it's that. Like, now looking back on, like, it doesn't matter how much you pour out and how much you do, you can still die, penniless.
I think making Salieri's a lead is so hard. He pulled it off so well.
Oh, that's a category for best actor. That's an argument. That's a class. That's an argument.
Oh yeah.
Go to your 5.
Speaking of best actor, I'll bring it back. I'll bring the same argument back I used before. I'm using Robert De Niro in Raging Bull.
That's textbook pandering.
There's way more pandering picks. Go fuck you.
That's textbook pandering.
Genuinely, this is it's the same argument I'm going to use for Ledger, where I feel like De Niro shaped a lot of like what myself as an actor and what I see in films over time. I think his performance as LaMotta changed a lot of how a lot of acting nominees and best actors have sort of performed, and I think that get a fucking look up your face bar. I think De Niro is absolutely amazing in it. I think he has this great idea of change over time, and he's able to capture every version of LaMotta throughout his entire life, even like from this young, spunky up and comer to this just old, depressed man trying to find his life, and him in prison is just so fucking heartbreaking. I think this is just a masterclass of acting, and again, there's a lot of good picks, but to me, De Niro has shaped acting from this film, and that's who I look to. And it's like, this is it.
Okay, I understand the pandering thing, because if you talk to me about actors, then Denzel and De Niro are basically hand in hand, like actors for me that I absolutely adore. You're 100% right. This was I watched Casino first, then I watched The Miracle Worker, and then I rewatched Raging Bull today. He's absolutely
What a whiplash.
Oh, I had a lot of fun. Things I do for the show. Absolutely incredible. Definitely top 5 for me in acting category right now. Best actor, I think he is absolutely incredible. I believe there are other films that he deserved the Oscar for as well, like other films that I think he's absolutely incredible in, but this one is definitely groundbreaking, and the depths that he goes to get to this character is crazy to me. I think he's absolutely incredible. Great choice. Of all people, Spence to bring up De Niro and Raging Bull. Didn't see it coming. Everybody else on Raging Bull.
This was my second place for Best Actor.
This was one of my considerations. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah,
this was one of my considerations. Go, just go.
I was going, but yeah, it's a great pick. I don't have any problems with it. I just liked other performances more, but I don't have any qualms with this movie. He's amazing in the movie. The prison cell scene is one of the best of all time.
No, this was one of my considerations. It's just I don't quite understand this take of how he completely changed the category. He's fantastic, and he absolutely deserved it. It's just I'm a little confused at that.
I'm not the most educated, and if y'all think I'm incorrect, I will accept that, because again, like I'm not coming at it from the most knowledgeable perspective. The way that I've seen winners both in the performances and what have won. I think that he's shaped a lot of that, and his type of performance is one that I think drove change in both winning and acting. I would say the same thing for Brando in On the Waterfront and Trigger Named Desire. Just to me, I enjoy Brando's performance more than those.
De Niro's performance.
Yeah.
Okay. No, and Bar's confused because he thinks Rex Harrison is a great actor, and my favorite.
That is also true.
Oh my god.
That man is a block of wood. Okay. We're going to 4.
Yeah. Koho, just get it up. I know you're going to. My 4 is actually Boatman might want to come back to this. I don't know. I think he does actually. My 4 is Best Original Score for The Lion King.
Yikes.
Joseph, that's who it was, right? We move on.
So 3 people had that for score?
Yeah.
I'm in love. Never going to win your list, son. Take it away. What's your 3?
My number 3 is Best Adapted Screenplay for Casablanca. There's a reason that this is considered one of the greatest screenplays of all time. It's based on a play, which a lot of people don't know. And having read the play, it's much more intriguing as a movie. Just like so many scenes in this. The scene where she first comes into Rick's place, the dueling anthems scene, the scene at the airfield. Oh my god, the scene with Peter Lorre's character getting captured and taken away. The scene where she pulls a gun on him, and there's so many great moments that are just pieced together so perfectly and seamlessly, and it just transition and flows so effortlessly throughout the entirety of the writing. It's a feat to behold, and it's absolutely worthy of the praise of one of the greatest screenplays of all time.
You want to mute yourself, Chip Boy?
Jesus Christ.
Yes! Listen, what me and Koho work so well on this show together. I hate that I had to deep cut study this. I watch. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I had to pick apart this movie. It didn't even fucking help me, to be honest with you. I should have just not missed it. I would have got one question right and we would have moved on. But I think this movie's incredible. Like, I love Bogart. Like, as one of the classic actors, I enjoy Bogart so much in movies. And I don't think he's ever been better than in this show. Like, I think he's got great performances throughout a lot of his choices, but I think in this movie of how he's able to, what he's able to deliver is just so good for me. He plays like that like he's higher than everybody, and he like does it how he delivers his lines and goes through it. It's just, I love it. I think it's a fantastic choice. That screenplay, we'll see what everybody else has had at the end of the night, but yeah, it's a really good choice for right now for adapted screenplay. Everybody else on Casablanca?
I consider Casablanca. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I did consider Casablanca for screenplay. It just barely missed the cut. For a movie that is based on a play that I haven't read, I considered it, but I did want to talk about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest because I had a better comparison to do.
That's fair.
I don't obviously like Casablanca has some good lines, but like when I think about what I love about Casablanca, I don't really think of the writing. Like I think of
that's how good it is, though.
Shut up. That's such a pretentious. That's how good it is. You don't even think of the writing.
So you don't even hear the words. It's just there.
It's a character inside the film.
You're not even thinking about this cup right now. But no, like it is a good screenplay, but best screenplay adapted of all time. I don't know. It's really good. Maybe I need to revisit it. Like I just think of like Michael, the production designer, Michael Curtis directing. The writing is just not what I gravitate.
Well, remember, Barr thinks one of the greatest art of all time is a naked dude doing jumping jacks. He has some weird opinions.
What?
The fucking weird guy with the arms and legs and shit.
Oh, the Vitruvian Man.
I will say. One of my favorite quotes of all actually does come from this movie, where it's literally just Bogart just staring into the cameras. I remember every detail. The Germans wore blue, you wore gray. Or the Germans wore gray, you wore blue. And I fucking love that. And I think the movie is filled with just these great little lines. And I want to love the movie more, but I'm just so fucking nitpicky about it that I think it's a problem only for me that I'll never like fully fall in love with the film. It's not a bad pick. I think there's better ones. I think you're caught up in the old beat means better. But I think this is good.
I love this. It's a great panel to be
I like being catty. It's fun.
I'm glad we're not playing Among Us after this because fucking people.
Let's play Among Us after this.
Joseph, what's your thing?
Okay, here's where people are going to call me out for pandering. The Lion King for best score.
That's textbook pandering.
Are you done, Koho?
Yeah, he's done.
No, I don't think he is.
He better be.
Do it again once he starts talking.
Let's go.
This is not pandering. I really, really do love this score. It is Hans Zimmer's best score because this was prior to relying on a lot of loud noises, which he does sometimes for a lot of movies, but sometimes to different artistic effects in a lot of Nolan films. But this score is charged with so much emotion throughout that has had me invested in the movie ever since I was a kid. There's an anxiety-inducing stampede scene, and the music there is so anxiety-driven. The scene right afterwards is so tragic and heartbreaking. This land is such a majestic scope and look at the whole Pride Land's art and Pride Rock. The final fight scene between Simba and Scar is so action kind of packed in slow motion. I love it. And one of my favorite musical moments in any movie in my 2-decade-plus length of watching movies is the ascending the throne scene in The Rain. It is so majestic, so grand, and it gets me so emotional every single time I hear it. And just watching it is just incredible. This score is amazing. This is my favorite score to ever win this Oscar. Did I do this movie justice, Cody?
Joseph just became my favorite person on the face of the Everybody else.
I also had this.
I also had this.
Not as high. Not as high. And you better talk just as passionate as him. Let's go.
I forget. Okay, I'm reading the movie I saw before.
Okay, you can.
I forgot where it was, but I saw somewhere like a few years ago. We're basically showing films with only the score playing, all the dialogue cut out, and you're just taking the film through the score. And I feel like The Lion King would work perfectly with that because the score is so. It takes up so much of the film, and you feel every emotion. This is by far the best work Zimmer has ever done, and I think it is so powerful. How much it can make you feel in the range of emotions, like the fact you can tell how Shakespearean this is because of how. Like I'm gonna say all over the place, but I don't mean that as a negative. I think the film runs the gambit of emotions, and Zimmer captures it all perfectly, while also creating, I think, one of the best opening scenes of all time. Which, yeah, it's partially a song, but also his score carries that. And I think it also, like, with my argument for actors before, I think this really changed people's perception and even composers' perception about how to score a film. This is it. This is one of the greatest things ever put to whatever celluloid is, but for music.
I think I go back to the Disney movie soundtracks, right, where we weren't allowed to include scores, it was just songs. I straight up said that if we included scores, Lion King would have been my number one, because I think the score honestly might be the best thing about the movie. And that's not anything against anything else in the movie, but I think the score just enhances so many of the moments. Like, there are so many scores where, like, when people talk about great scores, they're talking about one theme in the movie that comes back, right? This movie has themes on themes on themes on themes. Like, there are so many great musical moments within this score. And I like what Joseph said. That final, like, score piece of Simba taking the throne, where all the musical motifs come back into play and stack up on each other, is amazing. Fantastic. Yeah, this is, I think, one of the greatest scores of all time and the best score to win best original score.
Fargo, fuck yourself. Okay. Anyways, I've been sent the TikTok of, hey, I need you to make something pretty great. I think you're gonna like it, and it's the end scene when they're climbing up, and it's like, why am I crying? Yeah, it's like, right. It's that moment. This movie, it's one of the things that was really missing. I think they brought stuff over to the live action. I'm not 100% sure. I've only seen that piece of shit one time. I don't think Boatman's wrong. I think the overall performance, I think the score is one of the things that stand out. Anybody that tells me that Hans Zimmer deserved more for just, it's so surprising that Lion King is his only win or whatever, or that he had better ones. I totally disagree with that statement. I think this is by far his best, and it's not even close. When he returns to Pride Rock, when he finally makes the decision and the run across, which in the live action they decide to make it a Beyonce song, and it's that score kicks in where he returns. So incredible throughout this entire thing. I love the score. I think it's by far the best score in film history. I do not care. I love this score. The music and everything is great from the film. The thing that he's able to draw out emotion to in less than 90 minutes of a film, and the range of emotions that you feel throughout this film. I understand Beauty and the Beast ranks for people and where it does, but this movie in its nutshell is just perfect cinema for me. Yeah, great choice on the score. I couldn't agree more. Bar, what the fuck? What's up? Show your face.
Taking a nap.
So, I considered this.
Oh, you should have.
Absolutely. It was on my short list. I just think that Jaws has kind of permeated the culture a little bit deeper. But I do love the score. It's a great score.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
God, you are on fire! I don't know if Boatman's back from like dropping off his chicken at the sink or something. But, what's up, buddy? What's your 3?
My 3 is best adapted screenplay for The Social Network.
Yikes.
What? No, it's not.
What?
Wait. That's not my 3?
Did you change it and not send it to me?
What is my 3, Koho?
Your original screenplay.
Oh, it's my original? I think I mixed those up, but that's okay. My 3 is best. I think I might have meant to have it the other way around. That's okay. My 3 is best original screenplay for Little Miss Sunshine.
How does the show work?
Oh, shit!
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's fair. That's fair. I thought I said it the other way around, but that's okay.
Yeah, you said it June 24th.
Nope, you're right. You're right. No, you're fine. I just had it mixed up. You're fine.
We know what's coming next. Go ahead.
Do you? Yeah, I think for... I was thrown out. Yeah, Little Miss Sunshine, I think, is a film that is so enhanced by its screenplay, right? Koho has pointed this out before, I think, on my list. But look at, like, the diner scene, right? Look at what everyone just orders at the diner. This is a movie that understands its characters on a fundamental level. I think there are so many great, like, comedic moments, heart-wrenching moments, moments that are a little bit of both. I think one of, like, the most brilliant moments is the colorblind scene where Paul Dano finds out he's colorblind. And first you're kind of laughing just because of his reaction. And then you kind of realize, wait, this is this guy's life, but you're still kind of laughing because the horn won't stop honking. So, like, it just takes you on a roller coaster of emotions. I just think there are so many great moments of dialogue within the film. And just, I love Dano's beauty pageant suck monologue, or beauty contest sucks monologue. I love this film so much. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's my 4th favorite of all time. And I think the screenplay is just one of the best ever written.
I watched this movie. I watched it probably around like 10 plus years ago when it, like after it came out. I liked it then, but I didn't really like retain much from it. I rewatched it, I think, this past year. It's a really strong movie, really strong script. I think all the characters work really well together. I think it's kind of surprising this movie doesn't get talked about as much. I know it's very popular in your circle, but not like outside of it. But I will say, yeah, I'll take the diner scene heat over Little Miss Sunshine. But thanks, Spence. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad choice. We'll just have to see at the end of the night where it all ranks up against each other. But yeah, everybody else on Little Miss Sunshine.
Before Andrew says Heat is overrated, blah blah blah, I have not seen this movie.
I wasn't gonna go there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow, look, tire marks from a bus.
This is a very Boatman pick.
I think this is a great pick. I saw it for the first time ever this year, and yeah, it's a great pick. That scene where Paul Dano's character learns that he's colorblind and immediately realizes that he can't. What was it? Join the Air Force?
Yeah.
What a fantastically written scene. This is a really good pick.
This is a movie I've been wanting to rewatch because the two Calebs never shut up about it, and I'm like, I think I'd probably like this a lot more on a rewatch, and I haven't gone around to it, but this is a good pick. Yeah.
You have definitely rubbed Koho the wrong way. The motherfucker wants to just rip your head off backstage. It's great. Okay. We're going to Spence for your three.
Yeah, my number 3 is Best Picture, and I'm picking Moonlight. I will say, originally for this list, before I saw that it was narrowed down to categories, I didn't put Best Picture. Because I think all of these films, like everything we're basically saying is like, what has the best of everything? But to me, Moonlight is like the perfect medium. It's not my favorite Best Picture winner, but it's the one I think it masters the most at once. I couldn't pick Amadeus because I already did before. Which movie I just have a lot of just deep love for, balancing like a really tight script, an ensemble cast, incredible direction, its score by Nicholas Britell, who is a god. Everything about this movie just works so amazingly in tandem. Well, also it's more than just the sum of its parts. Everything comes together. It just tells this really beautiful, engaging story that I fall in love with more and more each time I watch it. To me, this is what a Best Picture is. It's not just, oh, hey, that's the best movie of the year. This mastered the craft of movies in one of the best years of the last decade for movies and did everything perfect to a T.
I really like Moonlight. I don't go back to it as often as I would like on some of them. But I don't know if it's definitely not my pick for Best Picture right now. My all-time favorite. I can understand it. The best part about this, it winning, was it fucking stole it from La La Land, which is great. Not stole it, but like for fucking I can't think of the actor and actress that fucking fucked it up. But
Warren Beatty played Dunaway.
Those two are my favorite people in the history of the universe. I actually like just send the postcard to them every year because of it, because it was so fun to watch that on the Oscars. Yeah, I think this movie will stand the test of time over the years and get better on more watches. But yeah, it's not my pick, but I can't disagree with you. It's a really great choice. Everybody else on Moonlight, was it close?
This is a movie that I've seen once, and I liked it enough the first time I saw it. I didn't love it. That said, there are a number of Best Picture winners or Oscar-winning movies that I like more on rewatch, so maybe it just needs a rewatch for me. I've always said that La La Land held this the Best Picture Oscar for 2 minutes, which is the length of its opening dance sequence, which was the best part of that movie.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that motherfucker don't miss. That was the best thing you've said all night.
I think Joe's going to win just for his attitude today.
I couldn't agree more with you. That is the best part of that fucking film.
I mean, fuck you, but you're wrong. But like,
oh, it's the best part.
So I really like this movie, but I wasn't even considering it out of all of the movies to win Best Picture. So
I do like this movie. I do. I gave it a second shot on rewatch recently, and I do think it's really good. I just don't love it like a lot of people do. I think it's good.
Okay. We are next to Bar for your 2.
All right, Joe. So Koho, get it ready. Warm the video up. My number 2 is Best Original Screenplay for The Apartment.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
This is a great pick. This is a great fucking pick.
This is a great pick. This isn't even pandering.
This isn't even pandering. That's just correct.
Yeah. The screenplay for this is absolutely incredible. It takes you in so many different directions. There's so many different emotions it takes you through. It's just tight. It's memorable. You really, really fall in love with these characters, just the way that they're written. And just like that broken mirror is one of the greatest metaphors in movie history. It's such a perfect piece to insert into that script. Like, everything about this movie is fantastic, but it really wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for this screenplay. And Cody's not here. The one time I tried to shorten my...
Yeah, what the fuck's going on? You never shut the hell up, so what the hell now? No, I agree. I rewatched this. I always said it's not my favorite Wilder because XYZ, but no, it's climbing the list every time, and I think it's because of the script. I think the performance is great. The best performance in this entire movie is Shirley MacLaine, and it's
oh yeah.
I think Lemon's great. I think McMurray is great, but the ranges of emotion that she travels through in this entire film is insane. I love that it has the brief moments of Wilder, like the comedy moments that are still throughout it, that have the situational comedy, but the heart that this movie carries about it, like the ending, it's got one of my favorite like lines in film history is, "I've decided to be a mensch." You know what that means? A good person. Because it's such a good... What?
Take a shot. Joseph corrected somebody.
Sorry, I don't have a mainframe up there that fucking gives me the correct quote. But
don't miss.
Joseph, correct me if I'm wrong. It makes me look the way I feel is one of my favorite lines ever.
I just overall I love when the like I love like the guys that rent out his apartment and like how they get angry throughout the entire. Well, buddy boy ain't helping us anymore, so like might as well. And they send him. I just think, and I love the ending. Like I love the ending to this film. When people say it's an overrated like romantic comedy, I just hate that expression. I think it's the romantic comedy. I think it's one of the best. So. Yeah, When Harry Met Sally is pretty good up there too. So, everybody else on this one.
Here's the thing. I think that this almost transcends the genre of the romantic comedy, where it doesn't even feel like a romantic comedy in some aspects. I mean, it's a fantastic film. I was back and forth when I sent my list into Cody. This was the original screenplay was the category that I was continuously changing between Little Miss Sunshine and The Apartment. And I can't begrudge picking The Apartment. I just want to shout out, and Redshaw is the one who like pointed this out to me. I love Billy Wilder and I.L. Diamond accepting the Oscar for this because it's a very short speech. It's just Billy Wilder goes up, "Thank you, I.L. Diamond." I.L. Diamond goes up, "Thank you, Billy Wilder," and that's it. It's a great little moment, and I think, yeah, fantastic film.
Yeah, this is on my short list for Best Picture. Actually, I cannot begrudge the pick. I think again, like I said the same thing for The Lion King. I think it balances these tones incredibly, and that's due in large part to the screenplay. Oh, this really great broad comedy that I think works really well in the beginning, and then just the dourness of McClane's character. Of just everything she's going through, and it never misses a beat. You'd be like, "Oh my god, that's a big change," but it works, and it works so fucking well. Nazario needs to watch this movie again because he is absolutely insane for his criticism.
He cleans the apartment every time. He cleans it. He doesn't go to the laundromat. You don't see him fucking scrub the sheets, but he cleans his apartment. The man's not sleeping on that. Joseph.
Yeah, this is a great this is a great pick. I love the satirical commentary that it has on how some people like try to do what they want to do in the workplace in order to get a better position, but at the same time, Fred McMurray's character is so clueless as to how Jack Lemmon's character, Buddy Boy Baxter, could want to feel like feelings and have a heart for what Shirley MacLaine's character Fran is going through. Like, it's kind of sad to see that kind of contrast, but it's also a very, very poignant contrast. That middle scene where that thing happens that makes it not a comedy anymore is a gut punch. It's a great pick. And then the ending is, like you said, great antidote for that.
All right, Cody, now shut up and deal.
Joseph, number 2.
Okay. People are going to say I'm pandering for this one, but I really, really do love this movie. It's the best picture, The Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, well,
this is a competitive week. Yeah. This is really competitive.
Joseph, good one. Good job.
I'm waiting for.
What the hell?
Jesus Christ.
That's what I was waiting for. No, this is my favorite movie to win Best Picture that I've seen so far. And I have less than 15 left, and I don't see any of them topping this movie. I just love all the interactions between Clarice and Dr. Lecter. His entrance scene where he's just sitting there all gentlemanly, like, unsettles me. It makes me squirm seeing that stark contrast with all the other insane criminals in those cells. Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins have amazing chemistry. And I love seeing Clarice trying to succeed as an FBI agent and try to graduate from school in an environment that is, like, dominated by men. And Hopkins makes every single second count in the second shortest best lead actor performance ever. The whole sequence with the 2 prison guards and the ambulance at the end is so tense and well done. Kirk has this thing with how clean it supposedly looks, and I get that that's a difference in tastes, but... And Kirk, you're a great guy, but I'm sorry, I really love the way that this movie looks. I like how direct the camera is in putting the viewers in characters' shoes when they have different conversations. It puts you in the scene in the moment. It puts you in Clarice's shoes when she's being stared at by all the men and how she feels in that environment. I don't mind this artistic choice. This movie knows what and how much to show in regards to its disturbing material with Buffalo Bill and the serial killer images and pictures. It shows you just enough to like scare you and horrify you, and it lets you fill in the rest of the situations with your own mind. We can already imagine enough when we hear Dr. Lecter makes, like, for example, multiple Migs swallow his own tongue, or when Dr. Chilton shows a picture to Clarice of a nurse who got attacked by Dr. Lecter where his heart rate never went over 85 beats per minute. Kirk and Andrew also have this movie rule, and they like that show, don't tell. But this movie doesn't need to do that. When it implies the most horrific stuff of the movie, because if you've seen what Hannibal did with the 85 beats per minute scene, let's just say that leaves them to be desired. I think its creepiness factors are great, and yeah, I love this movie. Cody, I hope I did this movie justice for you.
Yeah. I guess technically it'd be my second favorite Best Picture winner, because my other one is The Departed. But yeah, I've said it before. Well, if I had to pick one of the slots, I would probably put it in actor. I think Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter is the greatest acting performance that has ever come around. I think it's.
I almost did.
I think he is. I think it's the best character introduction in any film ever. No questions asked. When he emerges from the shadow and starts talking in that slow voice, and it's crazy watching The Father. You can say what you want. Anthony Hopkins just proves he is one of the most badass actors that has ever graced the film scene ever. I think
I've yet to see it, but I do want to.
I think he is absolutely one of the best actors that has ever, like, performance-wise. But Hopkins gives this performance that, well, the picture itself, the movie, let me talk about that. I talked about it on Top 100, so I won't go into long depths, but I just love just the intricate between even the Buffalo Bill stuff that's side off of it, and then how Lecter basically plots his entire escape plan of everything to get through. And I think Jodie Foster kills this in this performance. I think how how tight this movie is and how it's true crime. Basically, this movie just has everything that I just love in a film, and great choice as Best Picture. Everybody else, Silence of the Lambs, what's up?
I've only seen this movie once, actually, so I should probably revisit it. It does rank high on my Best Picture ranking, but I fully admit, like, I have not seen this in a while, and I've seen it once. And it's probably a movie that deserves multiple viewings.
I agree with Boatman for the fact that I don't have it that high on my list. I will give a lot of credit to the screenplay. I think it's really smart, but the overall film itself, I don't have the highest opinion on. I need to come back to it, but like right now, I'm like, eh.
I think this is a great movie. I was considering it. You know, it just got eked out by one other film.
Sure. Okay, Boatman 2.
My 2 is a dice from earlier, Frances McDormand in Fargo.
It's me at 4.
I think this is just one of the greatest performances of all time. I think that Frances McDormand in this is incredible. She finds the humor and the heart in this character of Marge Gunderson. I think the way that one of the greatest just scenes in movie history is all over a little bit of money. There's more to life than a little bit of money, you know. Just one of the all-time greatest speeches. But you also just have her humorous introduction. I think I'm gonna barf. Like, there's just so much in the movie. I just love her and Norm together. There's just so much to love about this performance. She completely transforms into this character. Like, if you look at like something, you know, either before like Blood Simple or after like Raising Arizona, or not after, but before like Blood Simple or Raising Arizona, or after like Three Billboards or Nomadland, she's never played a character that has felt like Marge Gunderson, right? It feels completely different from anything else she's done, and that just shows her range as an actress. I think this is easily her best performance of all time. Just one of the greatest performances of all time. It is my favorite lead acting performance, period.
Heck, Norm, you know, we're doing pretty good. That delivery at the end alone was just like, it cemented it for me. Boatman hit the nail on the head with my favorite scene of the movie, her talking to Gare in the back of the patrol car. And it's a beautiful day. The scene where she's talking to Jerry and she looks him dead in the eyes. And he's just like, sir, you have no reason to get snippy with me. It's just such a cold delivery, but it's so perfect. It's one of those things where you watch it and you're like, that's not even an actress. That's just the character. That's just them. That's just Marge Gunderson. There's such a warmth and an honesty to it, but it's also a performance where you're like, God darn it, like, she is so good at her job. Like, it's a brilliant performance. One of the greatest of all time.
I think Koho just seems like he's been transformed into a gas station near his house. Or he's like, you guys are awful at this accent.
Oh yeah, for sure, you betcha.
Being with a barf.
This is my next category that I'm going to go through. But absolutely, I can't disagree with you guys on this one. I think she's absolutely incredible in this film. I'm glad you brought it up, Bar, but I love the scene with William H. Macy in the just talking about the stolen cars. Well, I can do a chat. Would you? Like, just basically, I'm not going to leave until you do it, so that'd be great if you'd start doing it.
That'd be great. Thanks.
In the snippy line. I also if I had to like rank couples in a film, this couple would be like one of the top.
Oh yeah.
Film, like, oh, I'll make you breakfast. No, it's fine. No, you need breakfast before you go. Like, get someone who makes your breakfast before. It's such a short movie. Like, this movie feels like it could be like. There's so many parts of this movie that I absolutely love, and it keeps climbing on my list just because the little things. Like, I love Jerry, we're not a bank. I quote that more times than I can count at this point. But her performance just, I think that's the truth. I think she's now, like, with all these recent wins and stuff, submitted herself as one of the best actresses. But I think it all started here. And I don't ever look at this performance as it's Frances McDormand playing Marge Gunderson. It's Marge. I think she transforms into the character, and it's insane. So great choice. I can't disagree with you guys. Spence and Joseph, your takes on Frances McDormand and Fargo.
I'm weird.
You're also wrong, apparently.
I don't really remember much from this movie. Like, I watched it for, I think it was for you or for a Full Metal Mattress, and I watched, and I don't remember, like, the scene I remember the most is the wood chipper and the scene you're talking about, Bar. Like, the first time meeting him, I think that's a great scene. But it's just, like, not in my head, and the more you guys talk about it, I'm like, wait, did I even watch this? And I know I did, but, like, I don't remember anything. So I don't have an opinion.
Who'd you put for actress?
Elizabeth Taylor for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Okay, Joseph, who did you have?
I had Charlize Theron for Monster.
Okay. All right, great. Still great choices all around. Joseph, your takes on Fargo?
Yeah, this is a movie that I actually thought was an all right movie the first time, and then I rewatched it, and there was a lot of details and, like, small things. What's that thing that Kirk likes to say about Goodfellas? It's in the little things that really make this movie great, and that's how I feel a lot about this movie, even though he doesn't think it's that great, I don't think, or has he gone up on it?
I think he doesn't like it as much, but...
Well, but anyway, but yeah, this movie is a movie that really has a great effect on rewatch. It's a great pick. I always felt, though, that she's been overshadowed by William H. Macy in the movie, but even though she's still really great, that would have been my acting choice if that performance won an Oscar that year. But regardless, it's still a great pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Spence, your two.
My two, which I think is going to get yikes from how this happened, is in Best Adapted Screenplay, The Social Network.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Shocker. Okay, your number one, Bar.
It was a yikes from earlier. It's Best Picture for Amadeus. So I picked this for Best Picture mainly because every single aspect of it is just incredible. I would have picked F. Murray Abraham for Best Actor or Tom Hulce if Tom Hulce had won. I almost picked more Milos Forman for Director. The score is amazing. The way it looks is amazing. The screenplay is amazing, which I probably would have picked that for screenplay as well. And just it is 2.5 hours, and it flies by. The spectacle of this movie is so perfectly balanced with the story of this movie. Just all of the opera scenes are amazing to watch. The ending, and especially the Requiem scene, where Mozart is on his deathbed and he is just basically instructing Salieri on the notes, and everything is just clicking in Salieri's mind, and just how brilliant it is as he's writing it down. All of the twists and turns and the character development, it is a marvel of a movie to watch, and it's my pick because all of the elements are A+.
Whoever had Amadeus as Best Picture?
Boat.
I had it at 6.
Talk.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite Best Picture winner. I think that, yeah, I'm basically going to echo everything Bar said. Like, all the elements of this movie are incredible, from the set design to the direction to obviously the music. Even if you don't like classical music, I think they make you like classical music with the use of it in the film. To the screenplay, Too Many Notes, to the performances all around, but particularly two of the great leading performances in both Tom Hulce and F. Murray Abraham. Put them in 2 separate years and they probably both win. That's the tragedy of it, is if they weren't from the same movie, or you put one in supporting and you put one in lead, but they're both the lead of the movie. You can't say it otherwise. They're the co-leads. The film is incredible. I don't even know what more you could say. It's like one of Shakespeare's composition, or one of Mozart's. I'm tired, guys. One of Mozart's composition.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Have you ever seen Mozart and Shakespeare in the same room? No, you haven't.
Go to Cody. Go to Cody.
So my review last time I watched this is there's best pictures that come out, and you're like, yeah, that deserved best picture for that year. And then there's best pictures that come out that could win against most any year. And Amadeus is one of those films. I think Amadeus is growing. It's my biggest mistake for not having it in my top 100. I wish I would have rewatched it before I submitted my top 100. It keeps climbing. I think this movie is absolutely incredible. Just how, it's just how villainous Salieri is, like, throughout this film, like, in just those different moments. And Mozart basically feels like, well, he likes me, right? We're friends, right? Just doesn't give 2 shits about him whatsoever, basically. It's just this. I pick up more and more for this thing. I read Michael Campbell's review of it, and when Salieri does the opera at the end, and normally where you'd look at the emperor, what are the king? What
Emperor.
Emperor, yeah, it's Emperor. Look down at him. He doesn't look at him. He looks right up at Mozart to get his approval, because his approval is what he's seeking and not what he doesn't care about the Emperor at that point. It's just one of those cool little moments that you pick up. Amadeus, I can't wait to rewatch it again. I think it's a long movie, but it flies by. It's perfect. Everybody else, how close was Amadeus being your best picture winner?
It wasn't as close as some other categories, but again, like I said, it's a great pick that it's gone up for me on rewatch. Just a personal thing for me, when I was in elementary school, my parents took me to a couple of operas, and we went to a workshop for The Magic Flute, the scene in which the Queen of the Night scene appears later at the end of the movie. And they played the scene where the Queen of the Night plays, and then they showed the scene where the bird guy, Papageno is his name, he plays the bells, and then Mozart's health is deteriorating. They showed us that scene in the workshop, and then when later I saw the movie in its entirety, I was like, oh, that's the scene I remember seeing from that. But yeah, the magic flute scene with the Queen of the Night scene is probably my favorite scene in the movie, where you can see his like weariness and deterioration, and it's so sad, but it's so beautiful to watch at the same time. It's a great pick. Not in my favorite, not quite in my top favorites, but but yeah, I respect it more now with rewatching.
I mean, I picked it for best director, but it's for a lot of the reasons of it being deserving best picture winner. This would have been like my 3 or 4 for a pick of that. It's just, to me, I wanted to highlight it more for its direction, but this is an amazing pick. I have no qualms with it.
And he is not great in Hunchback. He's actually shit. Okay, we're gonna go to Joseph. Joseph, are you on? Yes.
Yep. Okay, this is where the pandering stops, but it's still a pretty safe pick. You could theoretically go with any of this actor's 3 lead actor performances and argue for a number 1 for any of them as the top one. The one I picked was Daniel Day-Lewis's performance in There Will Be Blood. So I had heard for years that this actor carries this entire movie to an iconic status, and I was kind of nervous because it's more than 2.5 hours long. But when I finally watched it, I was like, oh yeah, I believe them. He is mesmerizing in this movie. He could, like I said, be #1 for any of his 3 performances, and I could see people's arguments for them. I'm just so taken away by Day-Lewis's vocal control, his body movements, and his facial expressions throughout this movie that make the movie go by really well. He is so calculating with his posing as a family oil man when he brings around his son, HW, trying to convince various families of leasing their land to him for the oil. He has a fantastic and very disturbing back and forth relation with Eli Sunday. His character, Daniel Plainview, can be so condescending to different characters, and his tone range with all those different scenes is so great to watch. How manipulative he can be with how he shows when he's trying to get so much wealth from the oil, and then when he also switches the tables on his son and tells him that he's an adopted son and that he's been using him this whole time. It's very, very tragic, but it's also an incredible show of acting from Daniel Day-Lewis that I think it's a really great, deserving pick for #1. That final scene where he's just trying to bully and use all of these crazy overacting movements towards Paul Dano's character Eli Sunday is like at the same time over the top, but so convincingly terrifying at the same time that just gets me like so terrified of him by the end of the movie. It's an amazing Oscar win. It's an amazing performance, and it's an amazing culmination of his acting in the movie.
So I watched this film as well. It's a fun fact, guys. Paul Thomas Anderson didn't direct this film. I found that out today. He did not direct this film. It's kind of great, and that's the reason I love this film. Didn't direct it, and it's a shame that he did not direct it, because maybe I'd like one of his films. But Daniel Day-Lewis is fucking incredible in this film. It's fucking incredible in this film. It's one that I needed to go back and rewatch just to make sure I solidified where he fell in my ranking. He's top 3 for me. I think he's insane in this film. This movie gets a lot of hype. A lot of people don't like this movie. Like, some people don't like this movie, and it's kind of weird because I don't like some of the other PTAs, and but I understand. Boatman kind of explained this one best for me. I like gritty PTA. I don't like drama like PTA. So, and I just think his performance is incredible. Now, his 3 that he's won, Lincoln, I understand why he wins for Lincoln because he's playing Lincoln. My Left Foot, he's giving. That's insane. His performance in that movie is insane. Like, I think that one is the movie I don't like as much, but his performance is like almost hard to watch at times of how great he's like doing the performance. So great job, Joseph. Thank you for putting it in this list. I did need to watch it for my best actor just to solidify it, and you definitely helped with it. So everybody else on there will be what?
Oh yeah, this is like top 3, top 4 for me in terms of best actor winners. Day-Lewis is incredible. This is like one of the first like performances that just blew my mind. I think he's incredible. Everyone talked about the milkshake scene, but just like I've abandoned my child, I've abandoned my boy. Like, I feel like this movie has been parodied so much. Like, it hasn't taken away from the movie, but I feel like it almost makes us forget how good Day-Lewis is. And then you go back and you watch the movie. He's just incredible in this. He absolutely deserved the Oscar that year. And 2007 was a great year for movies. He's incredible.
I still haven't seen this movie.
That's not true, is it?
Yeah, no, it's true. I still have not seen this movie.
What the
How did I lose to you? I asked my
because I'm better.
Motherfucker, don't miss.
Among Us is about to get fucking violent.
Loud noises!
You ain't getting Uncle Fluffy now.
What does that mean?
I don't.
That was a reference for 2 people.
Everybody else. You haven't seen it, Suspense.
The one we've been waiting for.
This movie sucks. I think most of the time I've been on this show, it's comes
like a trash can,
and I despise it. I despise most things PTA has done. Day Lewis is great. Like I'll respect that, but I'm not going to praise the movie.
Okay, Boatman, what's your one?
Shocker! It's the flippin' Social Network. Yeah. I think this is the second greatest adapted. I think this is the second greatest adapted screenplay of all time, in my opinion. I ranked like my top 10 of like every category. So the number one is 12 Angry Men, but that didn't win. As it should have. But this is just one of the most well-written films. If you don't like Sorkin dialogue, you're not going to like love this, but I love the rhythm of Sorkin dialogue. And just from that opening bar breakup, there is so much information that is put in there, but it's put in there so naturally, right? We get so many things built up, like Eduardo and the pressure that Final Clubs and so many things that come into play later, but it feels like a natural conversation, right? And there are so many great little moments of dialogue. Like, I just love the interaction between Amy and Sean Parker and that introduction, right? And there are so many just great Sorkin punchbacks. You know, anyone who's ever made a chair doesn't owe money to the guy who first invented the chair. You know, or obviously, sorry, my Prada's at the cleaners, along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip flop. You pretentious douchebag. There's so many great lines in this movie. Just one of the most well-written things. It's not pandering, Michael. This is my number 3 movie of all time.
That's textbook pandering.
Coach is on a warpath today. The reason I picked it as my 2 is like while the screenplay, yes, is great. I think at its core is the reason I love adapted screenplay as a category, because you don't need to be fully faithful to your source material. And I think that's what I love about this, is it's transformative. It's not just, hey, here's the Mark Zuckerberg story. Here is it through the lens of Aaron Sorkin and David Fincher trying to capitalize what their perspective of Zuckerberg is, where it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It is demonic and it looks down on him. And it comes out in Eisenberg's performance, yes. But at the end of the day, I love how it was adapted. How you took this straightforward little, not fluff piece, but just a biography, just a regular old book, and you transformed it into one of the most interesting and engaging screenplays of all time. This is masterclass.
Yeah, I didn't like this movie when it first came out because a lot of people said, "Oh, Zuckerberg talks to people like you talk to people," and I thought that was very rude.
I don't even think that's accurate.
Like, not sporadic, but just how dickish he is at moments. And yeah, that's something I've carried. But yeah, I think overall this movie was on my top 100. I think this movie is so smart. I hate what it did to Zuckerberg or to Jesse Eisenberg. Basically made him this character in everything he tries to do from now on. Like, he's just one note, but I think it's absolutely incredible. Again, I've always said the person that stands out in this movie is Andrew Garfield. I think he's absolutely the standout and most incredible in this film. But the script is the reason for that. I think that's actually a fact. But yeah, great choice. What did everybody else have for adapted screenplay?
I had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I had Casablanca.
Really good choices. Probably The Social Network would win for me. Okay, everybody else on Social Network.
This is my second favorite David Fincher movie. I think it's a very, very great movie for Aaron Sorkin to win his Oscar for adapted screenplay. I do kind of agree with what Cody was saying about how it kind of made, or at least it made Jesse Eisenberg kind of stick with that kind of role, because this role is just written for him, and he does it so well in this movie. Just that how mean he's in the movie, but also how snappy he is. It's a really, really great movie.
What's your number one, Fincher?
Zodiac.
I'm the exact same with Joseph on that, actually. Yeah, but this is a fantastic script. It was all my considerations. I just think Casablanca is a slightly better script.
Okay. And I guess we're going to close it out with Spence's number one.
This is my favorite movie to ever win an Oscar. So I just picked for myself. I just found one I couldn't put it at one. Number one for original screenplay is Her. This is where basically my transformative argument stops. This isn't a movie that changed cinema forever, where every word here is like changing history. It's just a movie I love deeply. It resonates with me. It resonates with my core. It's maybe the movie I've seen the most. There's a couple other like very close, but it's just Spike Jonze, and if anyone else computer, I wish I remember their names. But just it weaves just such a deep, emotional, and cathartic almost kind of story, telling just a weird love story, and not necessarily about its weirdness, but just how someone can find love and how it drives them through life and how it transforms them as people, and how you see like just the creation of Samantha has changed everyone's perception of the world. And I think this movie is just rich with beauty, and it all comes from this screenplay. I think Arcade Fire's score is great. I think Jones is amazing. I think Phoenix is amazing, but at its core, this screenplay created one of my favorite films of all time, one of the best I think ever created, period.
Yeah, I think Her is incredible. I think Her works because of the screenplay. I really do. I think Scarlett Johansson is given an outstanding performance that you don't see. I think Joaquin Phoenix is given an insane performance, basically just working by himself. I think this movie is super smart. I need to watch it more. I've only seen it, I think once, maybe twice, but I always start away from this a little bit because the concept was a little out there for me, but how smart it's delivered, it works. Everybody else on Her as screenplay winner.
Spence, you said that you've seen this the most times of any movie?
He doesn't rewatch shit.
This is a program where like 6 or 7. Like this is up there.
Wow.
Okay. I have not seen it. I haven't seen it. I've been meaning to, but I've also been told that Jexy is pretty good.
Stop talking to Brian.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't know how accurate that is.
I don't trust Brian.
His facial expressions that just stop talking to Brian. Like that's one of my favorite moments on Wireless is.
This is a really great screenplay. It's very, very good. I think that this is a very good pick. Probably not in my top 5 for this, but it's really great.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
You can tell that, like, Spike Jonze took the best from his time working with Charlie Kaufman. Like, this feels very much like the type of movie Kaufman would make, particularly Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But it also feels so unique. It feels like such a beautiful love story, but also just so heart-wrenching. And so much of that does come down to the way Samantha's written, because if Samantha isn't written human-like, we don't connect with that character. So yeah, fantastic pick.
Okay, so we've made it. Our first show on Twitch, we're in the books. We've kept a good amount of people watching the entire time, so I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to give out winners. First, winner for tonight with a B+ is Joseph Olivas. Wins. Daniel Day-Lewis was probably the most shocking one for me, again, with the rewatch. You had Lion King at 3. You also had Silence of the Lambs. You had the correct No Country for Old Men picked. Monster, I could agree with you. Director was a little bit up there in choices, but overall, great choice. Second win goes to Spence.
Yes!
Spence takes it on this one. Social Network, and with Raging Bull, I have to fully agree with that one. Amadeus is a great directing choice. What are we confused about? What? I'm so confused. I think
what the actual fuck is the show about, Cody? Are you talking to Kurt Kolakowski?
Wow, that's the biggest insult of the night.
Third place.
Loud noises!
Third place is Bar.
Yeah!
The Apartment, Amadeus, Casablanca, Fargo. I think great choices all around. You had The Graduate, which really helped your cases on that one. And then last, almost did this for the fucking memes at this point. Boatman is last place.
Explain yourself.
I think Little Miss Sunshine up at the top. You didn't even know where the fucking things were ranked. I think Brando is in the wrong category. You put.
I didn't have a choice. What category the Oscars?
You
put
did
Marlon
director.
Brando. That's not a me. Anthony Hopkins has less screen time than Marlon Brando, but you still.
Did Joseph pick him? No. Take the L.
Loud noises!
Among Us,
Christ.
Among Us is going to be fucking nuts. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Anthony Hopkins is in 20 minutes of the movie.
He didn't pick Anthony Hopkins.
I don't care.
Did I choose my pick to Anthony Hopkins?
That would be your pick for best actor, you said.
Fucking right. Combined list. Can we do the combined list?
Jesus Christ.
So overall, the best picture is Amadeus. The best original screenplay is The Apartment. Best screenplay, The Social Network. Cool. Best actor, There Will Be Blood. Best actress, Fargo.
Cool.
Best supporting actor, The Dark Knight. Best score, The Lion King. Best director, The Graduate. Best supporting actress, Cate Blanchett in The Aviator. And best original song, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
It's almost like I had the best pick in like all those 80% of those categories. But cool.
You said some
So did I.
You said some bullshit during this episode. You were a salty little motherfucker, and you got your placement. Your last place, you finished below Spence. Co-host pissed. This is a great shit. Great fun. I'm glad we all were here. Right now, I have nobody for villains. So here's the option. This is what we're going to do.
I'm glad.
If you're here, shut up, you stupid hoe. Movie villains. If I don't get enough lists by Friday, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to do best films of 2004. I'm going to move 2004 up. So if you don't like movie villains and you don't have a list for that, that's fine. Send me a 2004 list. Whichever one I get the most things for, that will be the case. Everybody takes crime comedies. Send those to Boatman. Movies that have been remade that were outside America that had 3 versions of it and stars a male and a woman and an old lady that scratches her ass. Send them to them. Top animated films, send to Boatman. Again, you all act like the fucking grades of the show fucking matter. Shut the fuck up. Have a good night. I don't know what the intro song is. Is this the same outro?
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart.
You're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Now what will it be? Death or exile?
You're hopeless. You're a hopeless mental case.
You better lawyer up, asshole. Because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
Normally, I would say Auf Wiedersehen. Since what Auf Wiedersehen actually means is till I see you again. And since I never wish to see you again, to you, sir, I say goodbye.